So here's a video that I know is going to get a bit of hate from some of the Frampton massive, but I got a Facebook message from one of the guys on my boxing Facebook who said that Frampton had been stripped of his WBA title. So I looked into the story, and yeah, Frampton's been stripped of the WBA belt that he won off Scott Quigg for failing to begin negotiations for a Guillermo Rigondeaux fight. Now, my first instinct when I read the news was to start defending Frampton. You know, I found myself saying things like, of course he didn't fight Rigondeaux. You know, Rigondeaux's a very, very tough fight, and he brings little to the table in terms of financials. You know, it's not going to be a massive payday for Frampton, but there's a good chance that he'll lose the fight. You know, it's a very tough matchup. Rigondeaux's on a lot of people's pound-for-pound top list, so I can understand why he avoided the matchup. But then it occurred to me, you know, that Frampton, like many of the other people at his weight, have actually ducked Guillermo Rigondeaux here. Frampton has looked at the challenge Guillermo Rigondeaux poses, and he's made a calculated decision not to fight Rigondeaux, not to even begin negotiations for a fight. You know, the Rigondeaux fight wouldn't be a massive pay-per-view fight like the Scott Quigg fight was, but at the same time it would generate ticket sales and interest above and beyond Frampton fighting an opponent we've never heard of. So, you know, whilst Rigondeaux doesn't have the commercial value of a Quigg, he's certainly got more commercial value than some random journeyman we haven't heard of, or, you know, something of that nature. So I think Frampton's made a business decision, which I potentially agree with, which is to avoid the Rigondeaux fight. But from a boxing perspective, I guess we've got to call it what it is. And Frampton has effectively decided not to take the fight with Guillermo Rigondeaux. He's effectively decided to duck him because he thinks it's a tough fight without a big financial reward. And whether you think that's right or wrong, whether you think Frampton's made the right decision or the wrong decision, it is a duck. And it's a situation which means we're not seeing the best fight the best. Now, it'll be interesting to see where Frampton goes next. You know, this will remain a duck, but be an excusable duck if he announces a mega fight. You know, Leo Santa Cruz or someone of that nature. If he goes on to fight an opponent that none of us have ever heard of, then it's a less excusable duck. You know, because he won't be getting more money than he'll be getting for a Rigondeaux fight in likelihood. He's actually just taking the fight because it's an easier fight, and he doesn't want to fight Rigondeaux. Now, look, I'm not necessarily steering criticism at Frampton instead of people like Scott Quigg. You know, Scott Quigg never fought Rigondeaux when he was the belt holder. But what I would say is Frampton was very critical of Scott Quigg and said he'd be a bit embarrassed by the treatment that he gave to Guillermo Rigondeaux. So I think with that in mind, and yeah, with the fact that Frampton himself was actually quite vocal in the lead-up to their fight about Quigg not fighting Rigondeaux, he's got to expect some criticism here. You know, he's decided not to take that fight. You know, he is looking at it from business and monetary perspective, which is fair enough. You know, boxers have a right to do that. It's a short career. But for my money, he has ducked Rigondeaux. And this is a case where the best won't fight the best. And from that perspective, it is unfortunate. And Frampton should have maybe been a bit wiser about how he criticised Scott Quigg for not fighting Rigondeaux, bearing in mind he would have been in this situation if he was going to beat Quigg, which he's now gone and done. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Is it a duck? Is it not a duck? Should Frampton have fought him? Should Frampton not have fought him? From my perspective, business decision, he's right not to fight him. Fighting decision, it is a duck. And he deserves to be called out on it based on, you know, the way he mouthed off against Scott Quigg for it. Just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching.